All right, sit comfortably in your seat. Feet on the floor, your hands resting in your lap. Your back as straight as you can manage. Just enough to be relaxed and comfortable, but not so comfortable you fall asleep. Your head balanced on your neck and shoulders. Your eyes halfway closed, cast down towards the floor. And take 3 deep breaths with the bell. In and in and out. And follow the echo of the bell into deeper meditation. Let your breath continue, not trying to make it long or short, letting it be what it wants to be, but giving your attention to that bell and to that breath. Really become intimate with that breath if you can. Feel your belly rise as you breathe in and fall as you breathe out. Feeling the cool air enter your nostrils, filling your lungs. Again, as that belly rises and as your belly falls, the breath leaves your lungs, warmed by your body, so that it's harder to even notice as it's leaving your nostrils. Just breathing in and out. A reminder that this is a body practice, not just a practice of the mind. So we are aware physically of what that breath is like. That can help to give something to focus on. We give such importance to our thoughts, and we don't need to work at having those thoughts come. We always talk here about how people feel when they do mindfulness, they can't stop their thoughts and that there's something wrong with them as practitioners. But most of the time, being noisy and just chattering on is what our mind does. And we don't need to push it away or stop it. But we can also open our field of awareness to what our body feels, what it takes in, the feeling of the weight of your body in the chair, your feet on the floor, the back of the chair supporting your back. And again, your belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. And again, the focus of this practice is really to develop that attention. We've had some good conversations in the group before the mindfulness exercises this last week or two, talking about walking with your eyes cast down and all the things you can find there. Sam found a deer antler and some beautiful agates. David found a bracelet on the riverbank. And Sam also was able to hear, because of paying attention, owls squawking in the tree behind her house. There's so much that's often unseen and unheard around us. And it's not because it's hidden, it's because we're not paying attention. It's possible to go through your entire life nearly while missing all the things going on around you, all the things of wonder and treasure and beauty, because you're caught up in your thoughts. You're caught up in what you just did for what needs to be done, memories or planning or worries. But really, there's no place any of this can happen except right now, with this breath, in this body, with these thoughts, and with the world around us. So we initially practice paying attention to our thoughts, to this body and its sensations, because that's something that's always there, always at hand, that we can practice with. And we practice it without judgment. Without thinking that's a bad thought, I should push it away. That itch is driving me crazy, I've got to get rid of it. Instead, just paying attention with curiosity and no judgment, of letting it all occur without pushing it away or without hanging on to it either. Not thinking this is a wonderful feeling. I'm going to make sure this doesn't go away. There's nothing that doesn't go away. It all comes in through our senses, through this body, through our thoughts, and then passes away. But if we're caught in judgment, we can miss things. It's kind of like there's a story of a man who was the son of a rich man, and he decided he wanted to get away from his family, get out on his own, try and make his way in the world. And he went into the city. And things didn't go so well for him there. He barely made enough money to live off of. He was hungry much of the time, and he didn't make any friends. But what he didn't know was that before he left, his father had taken a gem and sewn it into his coat. Kind of like that idea that you always take a little money when you're on an outing, just in case you need it, in case something goes wrong. Well, here he was, going through life, living in the city, feeling that he'd failed and he had nothing, without knowing that right there within his jacket was a treasure. And there's so much treasure we miss by not paying attention. We miss the treasure within ourselves, this goodness and wisdom that we get in touch with when we become still and pay attention. We miss that, as I say, the beauty and wonder that surrounds us. And sometimes judgment enters into that too. We may think, this is a dirty part of town, I just want to get out of here. And we miss that there's a beautiful flower coming up through a crack in the sidewalk, or that someone dropped a coin. We're not looking around, or really it's sometimes we're looking around too much rather than narrowing our vision. That's why, as we shared last week, those of us who like to find things, we keep our eyes down oftentimes. Yes, there are beautiful things to see in the trees if you're walking through the woods. But if you're walking on a beach or through the woods, much of what you see is right there at your feet. Really, everything we need is right there at our feet. And I heard someone say once, and I find this to be true also, that it's good to keep your attention open to see what's at your feet. Because when you're on the right path in life, you get kind of told that by all those little treasures, all those gifts, all that beauty that's there. You don't need a signpost to tell you you're going the right direction. If there are flowers on either side of your path, their fragrance, their color, well, that lets you know you're exactly where you should be in this life and you should continue on. Again, there might be judgment. You might be thinking, I'm not seeing any beauty. But it may be waiting for you and you're missing it. Or some of us can be so caught up in our ideas of what beauty is that we miss what's right there. There are people who can pay no attention to an incredible sunrise or sunset because they just don't have the interest in it. It's amazing all the wonder and beauty we can miss if that's how we are. But if we have that sense of wonder, that curiosity, it's that sense we've had ever since we were kids. So often we're caught up in where we need to get to, what we need to do. Anyone who's been a parent knows what it's like to be going somewhere with your child. I remember trying to get my son out to catch the bus in time for school. And he would always find something that was even just off the side of our sidewalk or the steps in the front of our house or along the sidewalk on the way down to the bus. And he had no sense of that he needed to get that bus on time. It was all in my mind. And he would see a small bug or a beautiful stone, and it seemed like there was nothing else more interesting to him at that moment than to sit down and study that bug or to pick up that stone and hold it in his hand and look at it. And yes, there are those occasions where you need to catch a bus, or those occasions where it really is a matter of life and death to get somewhere, to get to the hospital, perhaps. But oftentimes, you can be a couple of minutes late. You can be spending the time looking at that stone, looking at that sunset. And we get caught up in feeling we have to be somewhere when we aren't even expected there at a certain time. We set our schedule and we're going to follow it rather than leaving ourselves open to that curiosity and wonder that we had as children. It served us well. We think back to those times and it helped us know we were on that right path to see all that beauty. It brought us some joy. It brought us right down to where we need to be. There were things we needed to learn as children, and there are still things we need to learn. But if our heads are up, looking ahead to the next block, the next appointment, the next person we're going to talk to, rehearsing what we'll say to them, there's so much we miss. And you find as you do this practice and get more calm and centered, you don't need to do that rehearsing of a difficult conversation. When you're in that moment, you'll know the right thing to say. There's a famous saying in the Japanese tea ceremony where they gave a great deal of importance to just the simple act of making a cup of hot powdered tea enjoying the beauty of the tea bowl and the single flower that was set in the corner of the room. And that saying was one meeting, one opportunity. We realize our whole life is meeting that friend, meeting the call of that owl, meeting that stone or that sunset, or a person we've never talked with before who will teach us something wonderful. So suspend your judgment if you can, and just give your full self, your full heart to the attention of what's around you in this moment without thinking you know what's coming. Years ago, I was in a laundromat looking at this fellow, and I thought I'd figured him out. He looked like something of a redneck, and he kept looking over at me, and I thought he probably didn't like me. I don't think I had long hair at the time, but I remember I had a Beethoven t-shirt on, and I thought he probably doesn't like this kind of music. And suddenly I saw he was coming over towards me, and my first thought was, oh no, what's he going to say? He got closer and he said, do you like Beethoven? I kind of played it down because I was unsure what he was asking me. And he said, I love him, and started telling me all his favorite pieces. We had quite a wonderful conversation. And if I'd completely cut that off, I would have missed that whole 20 minutes that we spoke while our clothes were drying. It's so easy to do that, to turn our intention off, to turn away from what's happening in this moment, to judge and miss what could be some wonderful experience. So keep your eyes open. Look at what's close around you on the path. Keep your curiosity alive. Try to maintain that as you go about your day and days in this coming week. I'll ring this bell and we'll take 3 deep breaths, and then when you're ready, open your eyes and return to the wonder that's in front of you right now.